Hey guys, it's Kate Cook with Asphalt Canvas Custom Art, and I am so excited to introduce to you my newest series of work called She's Been Everywhere Man, and it is coming to the Lone Star Roundup on April 22nd and 23rd in Austin, Texas. I thought I would do this quick little video to describe the inspirations and some of the history behind why I started the collection in the first place. The She's Been Everywhere Man collection is actually a grouping of 10 paintings on canvas. They are 12 by 24 inch in size, and they're all created with a very unique medium of automotive enamel. So originally the inspiration for these paintings came from a song called I've Been Everywhere, famously sung by Johnny Cash. I was in my studio and I had at the time been wanting to find a theme that kind of encompassed everything that I was passionate about as far as Americana, pinup art, classic cars, rockabilly music, all the things that encompass that time era and time frame of what American culture kind of grew into. And so I heard this song probably for the 100th time, and the lyrics just instantly inspired me for a collection of work that featured different iconic locations in America. So I started fervently writing down all of these different landmarks and ideas that I could come up with for paintings, and realized over that list that they correlated so beautifully with the things I had already started pulling for inspiration to create these paintings for. I had set aside old family photographs of road trips that we had done as a little girl, and I had pulled WPA travel posters as inspiration for their color and kind of their blocky, paint by number-ish look to them. And so the biggest hurdle in the beginning was kind of narrowing down what 10 locations I wanted to feature in each of the paintings that I felt most closely represented an overarching overall cultural vibe of what America is all about. And so in conjunction with that, of course, I needed to figure out reference photos for the foreground, which is where I wanted to highlight different cars and pinup girls, because that's what I love to paint. And so at the time I had been following Trent Sherrill with Speed and Culture magazine, and I kind of reached out to him as a complete stranger in hopes to purchase the rights to a couple of the photographs he was sharing on the website and on his social media that featured these gorgeous cars and these really classy pinup models. And his tagline at the time was classy, never trashy, and so I really just resonated with that as a pinup artist myself, and it just really reminded me of kind of my own story of restoring my 1966 Jeepster and getting to travel cross country with it on on America's highways like Route 66 and the Pacific Coast Highway. So I ended up calling him and telling him about this She's Been Everywhere Man idea. And instead of selling me the rights to just a couple of his photos, he ended up getting so excited, even more so excited than I was. It was so inspiring, and we decided to collaborate together on the entire series. So from that day, he actually did an amazing promo video for the series that I have on my website right now over at asphaltcanvascustomart.com. And then from then on, I was able to utilize any of the photographs that he took as reference for the paintings. And so not only was I able to mix this beautiful, iconic locations, I could mix the iconic locations with these amazing historic cars that he was shedding light on with his publication of Speed and Culture magazine. And then obviously, how fun was it for me it was so fun for me to work with the owners of the cars and kind of show them little sneak peeks of how the paintings were coming along, and then also the real life models I got to paint. They were amazingly beautiful women, and it was fun to send them progress shots as well while I was creating this work. The 10 paintings overall are very glossy in nature, and that's because of the automotive enamel that I used. The paint itself was actually meant for pinstriping and sign painting, so I was using that for the last 4 years doing lettering artwork and pinstriping on actual vehicles, and I started to think, with my background in oil painting, is there a way for me to translate the oil painting knowledge I have on canvas and the pinstriping knowledge I have on metal and combine the two and make these paintings. And so I feel like I've been able to really push the medium as far as I can get it so far to create these really glossy, extremely vibrant paintings that have just very high contrast because of the black outlining I'm able to get. And I'm just really stoked with how kind of illustrative and poster-like some of the work is. And I can't wait for everybody to see these paintings in real life. And so overall, my vision for these paintings basically is to highlight forgotten places in America. If you've had the opportunity to travel any of America's highways, there's so many small towns and mom and pop shops that are being shut down or turned into ghost towns because America kind of has forgotten them. And so, you know, particularly on Route 66, even the places that I got to visit as a little girl are now no longer because, you know, people either didn't have the finances to keep them up to date and care for them, or they just got forgotten in the hustle and bustle of what modern day world is. And so I hope that these paintings, you know, especially in time, really just shed light on these forgotten places. And working with Speed and Culture magazine and Trent Sherrill, like, it's been so cool to also highlight these forgotten vehicles and the history behind these cars that these guys and gals either got to race or road trip themselves with their families. And there's these builders across America that are restoring them, and Trent's doing the best he can to, you know, share their story and get the car out into the world and show off like this American piece. This is a beautiful piece of American history. And so as an art history nerd, as an American history nerd, it has just been a super joy to create these paintings and do all the research behind the locations. You know, the Vegas one, I found out about the Las Vegas mobsters and their kind of hand in starting the Las Vegas Strip, and, you know, all the history behind the Bonneville Salt Flats and some of the female racers that got to race there. And it's just been such a joy. And I want to thank my husband first and foremost for being so supportive of this work, and then secondly, obviously, my followers for following with me on this journey of creating these paintings. And then lastly, also Speed and Culture magazine and Alpha 6 Automotive Enamel, they have sponsored the work since day one, and I am so incredibly grateful for their support and their kind of willingness to take part in such a massive undertaking. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoy the work, and we'll see you at the Lone Star Roundup.